now? You can't hear anything. Hello? Just sounds normal. Do I sound normal? Huh? Hello? It's good. Sounds just like it. Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello? Testing. Maybe not on. Hello? Wait, is this? Oh, did I? I may just have cut it off. What did I do? Oh, wait. How's it? Hello? Power button, not people. All right. Right. Can everyone hear me now? Yes. Okay. Sorry for that, guys. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Kristen, and I am one of the chaplains from Arnold Palmer who had the pleasure of being with Alex. My colleague Mark and I are here today to officiate, but we also want to hear from you guys. Like I said, I have had the privilege of knowing Alex since the minute he landed in our trauma bay more than 5 years ago. And I am honored that I was invited to be here today to speak with all of you guys as we gather in this sacred space to remember Alex. I also want to thank all of you guys, standing room only especially, for being here on behalf of Alex's family. I know that being surrounded by other people who loved him is very meaningful. Anyway, so I'm going to start as, there we go. Where's the feedback? Hold on. Great. Well, I wanted to start, as I so often did, with my time with Alex and his family with a prayer. So please pray with me. God, we thank you so much for Alex and the precious time he was able to spend with us. He was a gift that we will always be grateful for. I pray that you are able to provide all of the comfort and strength that we need as we say goodbye to this very precious child much too soon. We commit and entrust Alex to you, knowing that you love him more than we can understand or imagine, and that he is now safe, free of pain, and at peace. Bless this time that we will spend together as we remember Alex. We ask that you continue to surround us and cover us with your love, and that you find ways to keep reminding us that we are not alone on this journey, that you are always walking beside us as we both grieve Alex's loss and treasure his memory. We ask all of these things with faith and hope. Amen. Amen. So now I am going to read Alex's obituary as it was published, and then we will have some Christian family. Alex Michael Pandelos, Warrior Alex, December 11th, 2019 to August 5th, 2026. Alex was a charismatic and uniquely strong 6-year-old boy. His mischievous grin could light up any room. His life was marked by an incredible love of his family, trains, and animals. He loved everyone. Alex made everyone he interacted with feel special, whether it was his nurses, doctors, or the dog. Although he spent most of his life hospitalized battling cancer, enduring treatments, surgeries, and setbacks, he never allowed the disease to define him. The hospital became a second home, and he made the most of it playing with his trains. He was a little boy who had no idea the impact he was making on the world. He remained a loving, innocent, curious little boy who found wonder in the world around him. God could not have placed Alex in the hands of more loving parents. Troy and Kim went to the ends of the earth to protect and advocate for Alex. They loved him with every fiber of their being. They embraced every moment with him. Alex was also blessed with two amazing brothers, Aiden and Troy, whose world stopped any time they were near him. The bond between them will always be unbreakable. Alex, Troy, and Aiden lived their life to the fullest because of Alex. His brothers, Aiden and Troy, although they endured countless turmoil, they loved their brother deeper than you could ever imagine. He had a strong, unique bond with many people, but especially his Aunt Nene, and he had an unspoken bond with his grandma, Judy. He was loved so fiercely by everyone in his family and left a print on thousands of people. Alex changed so many lives, especially his family at Arnold Palmer. If not for the wonderful care they provided, he would not have thrived as much as he did in his short time. He will be remembered by thousands of people around the world who came to know his story and prayed every day for him. His love of trains reminds us all that his beautiful little soul did not leave footprints that can fade. Alex left tracks, strong, enduring tracks. Courage, love, innocence, perseverance. You could never see Alex was fighting for his life. He loved and cared for everyone he interacted with. He changed people's lives for the better. He changed the way people viewed the world and how they cared for one another. He left an impact on so many lives, but he never knew it. Alex was pure and innocent, a beautiful soul God placed on this earth with a purpose we may never understand, but will always appreciate. Alex lived life to the fullest, even though he wasn't able to do the things other children could do. It never stopped him from doing exactly what he wanted to do. Although Alex passed away at only 6 years old, the meaningful tracks he leaves behind will continue to help other children and families fight through the darkest of days and live life in the moment. We love you, our sweet little warrior, Alex. You can finally rest now. Okay.
Do this. Some of the same things that the obituary said. Kind of had a little bit of input in that. Um, all right, I'm just going to read what I wrote. Alex was an amazingly pure soul. I had an amazing nurse write something so beautiful and touching about Alex and the footprints he had left upon her heart in the early days following his passing. But in the days that followed, while I'm incredibly biased, I kept thinking that footprints somehow fell short. As in the obituary, some children leave footprints. Alex left tracks. Train tracks. Something more permanent, something made of steel and iron, something that could only be forged by years of walking through the very fire of hell as he waged his courageous battle. Tracks laid down by a little boy who loved trains more than almost anything in the world. But Alex's tracks became so much more than something we could see in his room or in the trains he loved. Alex laid down tracks that connected thousands of people around the world and helped guide those people and us to a better way of life. Through social media, his story reached people he would never have met and places he would never have traveled. People followed his journey, prayed for him, cried with him, celebrated his victories, worried about his setbacks, and hoped alongside him. People who had never met Alex came to know him. They came to know the little boy behind the cancer. They came to know the child who loved trains, the child who loved animals, the child who would search through his favorite books for every animal he could find, the child who would point them out and make their sounds, or make you make the sounds for him, the child who loved even the creepy, crawly creatures and wanted to pet them all. They came to know his sweetness, his innocence, his amazing and pure soul. And those tracks that Alex laid down are different from footprints. Footprints can disappear, a storm can wash them away, wind can erase them, time can cover them. But train tracks are built to last. They're made of steel and iron. They're built to carry weight, to cross difficult ground, climb through harsh terrain, pass through darkness, and emerge on the other side. Alex laid down tracks like that for more than 5.5 years. His own journey traveled through some of the harshest terrain imaginable: cancer treatments, surgeries, radiation, chemotherapy, immunotherapy, blood infections, procedures, relapses, setback, all the pain, days no child should ever have to endure. Yet his tracks continued. Alex continued. Somehow, through all of it, he remained the same sweet little boy who inspired us all. The cancer never became his identity. Alex was Alex. He loved trains, he loved animals, he loved cars and movies, he loved animated movies and shorts, he loved books, he loved finding animals in the pages, making their sounds. He loved the creepy crawlies everyone else might run from. He wanted to pet them. His interactions were so sweet and so pure. There was something extraordinary about the way Alex experienced the world. He found wonder where others might not have looked. He was deeply loved by his two brothers, Jason Troy Pandelos and Aiden Struble. To little Troy and Aiden, he wasn't a diagnosis. He wasn't a medical chart. He wasn't the disease that had followed him for most of his life. He was their little brother they both wished for at such a tender age 7 years ago. They're Alex, a little boy they love dearly and will carry with them for the rest of their lives. Alex was only 6 years old when his journey came to an end on August 5th. But his tracks did not and will not end there. They continue through his brother. They continue through his family. They continue through every person who came to know him. They continue through the thousands of people around the world who followed his story and cared about the little boy they had never met. And they will continue through the gifts that Alex is leaving behind. His corneas are being donated with the hope of giving sight to two children. Two children who may one day open their eyes and see the world that Alex loved looking at so much. There's something incredibly beautiful about that. Alex spent his life discovering the world with wonder. Now, through his gift, two other children may have the opportunity to discover it too. Alex's tumors are being donated for research and study. After an extraordinary long and rare fight with neuroblastoma, his tissue may help researchers understand more about this terrible disease and potentially help another child someday. Alex could not choose the road he was given, but he left something behind along the way. Tracks. Tracks of courage, tracks of love, tracks of innocence, tracks of perseverance, tracks that connected people who otherwise would never have known each other. Tracks that brought strangers together and around one little boy. Tracks that crossed oceans and borders thousands of miles. And unlike footprints, those tracks will not soon fade with a storm or disappear in the wind. They are built to withstand the test of time. Because Alex didn't simply pass through the world, he left a path behind him. And we will follow those tracks for the rest of our lives. Some children leave footprints. Alex left tracks. Steel and iron, strong enough to carry the weight of the world he was given. Strong enough to survive the harshest terrain. Strong enough to continue long after the little boy who laid them down has reached his final destination. And wherever those tracks lead, we will find him. In a train, in an animal book, in the sound of a child's laughter, in the eyes of two children who may one day see because of him. In the research that may help another child, in the hearts of his brothers, in the hearts of his family, and in the thoughts of people around the world who will never forget the little boy whose tracks brought them together. Alex's journey has ended, but his tracks will continue forever. We love you, Alex. Beautiful bit. Love you. Where's your phone? Okay, you're just gonna go. I have it in my phone. Hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Aiden, and I'm one of them. And I've been with them for the I've been with him for this whole journey of 6 years. Ever since he started, we have been supporting him, and I love how he would always support us, even in the hardest times. He inspired all of us, even the people who didn't know him, inspired people to make more, to do more, and support more.
He's inspired all of us, my family, my brother, my mom and stepdad, inspired other parts of families and all. We have many memories of him, even if you weren't there. We saw it on live stream and Facebook. He would always play with his trains, so fun, and boss me around about it. Walk it through. He would yell at me if I didn't follow rules. Yeah, the monorail. Yeah, the monorail. We had a monorail in our playroom, and I would always go in there with him, turn off all the lights, and watch the train go around all lit up. You know, he made a box out of tracks, made a tunnel out of the box where the big thing came from, all around. He would get so mad at me if I messed it up. Sometimes I had to escape the room real quick. My mom would say, "Dad, play with him." uh, I had memories of when we went to Disney World and we went on this coaster called Big Thunder Mountain. Just love it for two different reasons. One, there was a train. And two, very fun because it kept going up and down. He almost fell out. We snuck him on there, huh? Yeah. I hear it's good for passing kids still. Yeah. And this whole journey, we all watched how he had fun and laughed. And we laughed too while he was having fun. But me, my mom, Troy, Big Troy, we all hold ourselves together, make sure he had a good time in the years that he lived. Love you, Alex. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Well, I guess it's my turn now. Hello. I was originally gonna write something here and say it, but I'm gonna save that for celebration of life down the road. But I'm gonna read a poem instead today. This is Troy. Yeah, I'm Troy, his oldest brother. This poem is from someone very special to me. Also lost someone long ago, and his poem's been passed down for me to read today. To those I love, and to those who love me. When I am gone, release me, let me go. I have so many things to do and see. You mustn't tie yourself to me with tears. Be happy that we had so many years. I gave you my love, you can only guess how much you have me in happiness. I thank you for the love you each have shown, but now it's time I travel on alone. So grieve for a while, for if grieve you must, then let your grief be comforted by trust. It's only for a while that we must part, but bless the memories within your heart. So if you need me, Paul and I will come. Though you can't see or touch me, I will be near. And if you listen with your heart, you'll hear all my love around you, soft and holy. And then, when you must come this way alone, I'll greet you with a smile and say, welcome.
Wait, I'm gonna say one thing different. Now I feel that and in the beginning, you should be able to hear me. But I want to make sure that if I could leave anything for Alex, if I could share anything of growth, I've grown so much over the years and fighting for our baby, fighting for him, just advocating. I love that I was always loud because I advocated like hell for my little boy, and I do not regret that. I hope that everybody here can take Alex's story and they can always spend that time, take the time, be with your family, love them, make the memories. And I know that's cliche, but make the memories. Go to Disney, spend the money. It's just money. Alex loved life. He knew that Disney like the back of his hand. He lived to super cool is whether we were stuck in the hospital with the nurses and they're playing trains with us all for hours, and he loved everybody. And I just hope that if he can change anything for y'all, it's love one another, be patient, have grace. Everybody breathes different, everybody lives life differently, and we're all put in each other's lives for a reason. I believe my baby, our baby, changed the world. I don't care what anybody said, he changed the world the way everybody would fought for him, prayed for him. It was beautiful, and I just hope that what you take from losing such a beautiful little soul, that you will be kind, that you will love one another, and that you will make memories. Okay. And there is a poem that I read. It's on the back. Does anybody have it? Can I read it out loud? It's on your phone. It's probably on the back of it. It's on the back of his picture. Everybody got one. Thank you so much. Oh, that one. So I wanted to share something. I have it. That angel with me this whole time. My brother Josh was with me in all the darkest moments. And I only realized there was a thing in the hospital with clocks. The clock would be stuck on 9 to 3. And I would be so mad if somebody changed that clock. And Troy, he wanted to change the clock all the time because it had to be right. But it was stuck on 9-3, and that was Josh with me. He was always with me for the hardest time. And I realized that Alex passed at 9:15, which would be 9-3. And that to me, if you believe in signs, my brother taking him to heaven. And so when I was looking at poems for Alex, I looked at probably 30, and I picked number 11, and I'm free. That's what I would say. Don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I'm following the path God laid for me. I took his hand when I heard him call. I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day to love, to work, to stuff. Tesla, sometime, will stay that way. I found that peace that felt the day. If my parting has left a void, fill it now with remembrance of joy. A friendship shared, a laugh again. Oh yes, these days I see the most. Be not burdened with time, with sorrow. I wish you the sunshine of tomorrow. My life's been full. I've savored so much. Good friends, good times, a loved one. Perhaps my time's too well too brief. Don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift up your heart and share with me. God wanted me now and set me free. Okay, so Erin, follow that up. Erin taught me how nurses, and I guess she set the bar real high. And she advocated for Alex. She taught me things I would never know. Checked everything, what was compatible. I could not be blessed with a better staff. My family put up with me. I love y'all so much. And thank you for caring for my baby. And Aaron, thank you for writing something for us. I love you.
Hello. When I was asked to speak about Alex, I realized how incredibly difficult it is to put 6 years of a life into words. Maybe that's because Alex's life really can't be summarized by the number 6. Somehow he managed to fit an extraordinary amount of living, loving, laughing, fighting, and a lot of mischief into those 6 years. I had the privilege of knowing and caring for Alex for about 4 of them. And somewhere along the way, he stopped feeling like just one of my patients and he became my little buddy.
Alex was diagnosed with cancer shortly after he was born, which meant cancer and its treatments were woven into nearly his entire life. Radiation to his brain at such a young age affected his development, so although his body continued to grow, developmentally he remained much younger. But one of the beautiful things about Alex was that something that might sound heartbreaking when written in a medical record looked completely different when you actually knew him. Because Alex was never his diagnosis. Alex was just Alex. And as he got taller and his diaper somehow continued to get bigger and bigger, he honestly just became more endearing to us. He still wanted to be held. He would still somehow curl his long-legged little body into you like he was still tiny. And he gave the absolute best little hugs. He had the softest bald head I've ever touched. I rubbed it for good luck every time I saw him. And I don't know that Alex ever officially agreed to this arrangement, but it kind of became our thing. One of the things I will remember the most about Alex was his eyes. They were the kindest, most expressive eyes. He didn't need words to tell you what he was feeling. You knew when he was happy, when something hurt, or when he was sad. And you most definitely knew when he was annoyed with you. Those eyes absolutely lit up around the things that he loved, especially Loopy, our service dog at work. And Alex really loved gluten-free mustard pretzels, which you might have seen sprinkled around here. Although I think we were convinced that he didn't actually really like the pretzel, he just kind of liked the seasonings. He would just lick it off and then fling it over the side of the bed. Kim and I tried to strategically place the trash cans in the general direction he was flinging these pretzels, but we were pretty rarely successful. And then, as mentioned before, of course, there were the trains. Absolutely, Alex absolutely loved everything about trains, especially Thomas the Tank Engine. He loved cars, trucks, and construction equipment, and his vocabulary for them always amazed me. One time when I was taking care of him, he casually said excavator, and I was like, how do you know what that is? There was a little train display in the hospital that he loved to visit. We'd walk down the hallway so he could push the button and watch the train go around and around the tracks. But anyone who took care of Alex knows that taking Alex for the walk came with its own risks, because if that kid got away from you, he was gone. The only way I can describe the way he ran is like Captain Jack Sparrow after a few drinks, with his arms everywhere, body moving in every direction, and somehow incredibly fast. And there are a few things funnier than seeing Alex, only in a diaper, come sprinting out of the room with Kim trying to put her flip-flop on, chasing him down the hallway. Those are the moments that I want to remember. Because when someone has been sick for almost their entire life, it's easy for their story to become just about their illness. Cancer was a part of Alex's life, but cancer was never Alex. He was a little boy who loved trains and animals and adventures in his brothers. He was curious and affectionate and mischievous. And when he felt well, he was completely and totally full of life. And so much of that life was possible because of his family. I can't talk about Alex without talking about Kim and Troy. Over these last 4 years, I didn't just get to know their son, I got to know them. And somewhere along the way, they became family to us too. Kim. Anyone here who knows Kim probably already knows exactly where I'm going with this. Kim is without question one of the fiercest advocates I have ever met. She's also quite possibly one of the most abrasive women I have ever met. Watch plenty of staff members meet him for the first time and get that look on their face that says, oh boy. But then you get to know her and to understand her, because what you are actually seeing was armor. Kim had a little boy who needed her to fight for him, and she decided a long time ago that she was going to be the person standing between Alex and anything that could hurt him. So if you were going to take care of her baby, you were going to do it right, and you were going to pay attention, you were going to listen, and you were going to learn Alex. And if you didn't know what was normal for him, Kim was going to make sure that you did. But under all of that armor, is one of the biggest softies I've ever met. A mother who knew every look on her son's face, every sound, every indication that something might not be right. And pretty quickly, we stopped seeing the armor, and we just saw Kim. A mother who would have moved heaven and earth for her child, and many times I think she did. And then there's Troy. And if Kim is the storm, Troy is the guy who calmly captained the boat through it. Talk to, a listening ear, and steady. And when you spend the years watching a family navigate something as unimaginable as this, you begin to understand how valuable that steadiness really is. Troy listened first, he took things in, He asked questions, and when he had something to say, you knew it mattered. Because underneath that calm exterior was a dad who was paying attention to everything. His advocacy didn't have to be loud to be powerful. He was a dad who knew his son and who wanted to understand what was happening and what came next. He was every bit committed to making sure that his son had the best possible life. Kim and Troy are very different people, and maybe that's what made them exactly an incredible team. Kim could be the armor, and Troy could be the steady hand. One could push while the other listened, but underneath those different approaches was the exact same thing, an extraordinary love for their son. Together, they didn't just fight to keep Alex alive, they fought to make sure that Alex actually got to live. And there's a really important difference between those two things. They made sure that in a life filled with far too much medicine, there was still room for childhood. There was Disney World and racetracks, farms, animals, and boat rides, movies and times with his brothers. There were adventures and regular old ordinary family moments. There was laughter, and there was a lot of joy. Cancer demanded an enormous amount from this family, but they refused to give it everything. And because they did, Alex got to just be Alex. Most importantly, every single day of his life, he knew that he was completely, fiercely, and unconditionally loved. And Kim and Troy, there's something that we need you both to know. Your family has changed the nurses that we've become. When I first met you 4 years ago, I was still a baby nurse. I knew medications and assessments and protocols. But there are things about nursing that nobody can teach you in school, and you guys taught us some of them. You taught us to really listen when a parent says that something isn't right. You taught us that advocating for a patient sometimes means being willing to be uncomfortable and speak up. You taught me that being a fierce advocate isn't something that I should ever apologize for. And you taught me that caring for a child isn't only about fighting the disease, it's about fighting for the child underneath it, for their comfort, their dignity, happiness, and for the chance to simply just be a kid. We watched you fight for Alex, and somewhere along the way, we learned harder to fight for our patients too. And because of that, that means that Alex's impact doesn't just end here. There will be children you will never meet who will receive better care because we knew your family. There will be parents we listen to differently because we knew you. And there will be moments in our careers when we find the courage to speak up because your family taught us what fierce advocacy looks like. That's part of Alex's legacy, and if you extend it to every part of the healthcare team who was involved in his care, you've only just begun to see the impact that you've had. So thank you for trusting us with your baby, and thank you for letting us love him. Thank you for allowing us into some of the happiest, funniest, scariest, and most painful memories of your family's life. We wish more than anything that there had been more time, but we're so grateful that out of all of the people in this world, somehow Alex crossed paths with us. So Alex, I hope wherever you are, there are trains everywhere, and I hope you can run as fast and as far as you want. And I hope you know just how many people love you there. Thank you. What is it? Judy, did we lose the? Hey, Troy, I want you to somebody to turn this off. You hear it? Let me get it. No, it's over here. Oh, yeah. You know I see you. Let him fix things. Let's know what he needs to fix things. I said. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got it. My name is Brittany. Here she is. Here. I'm Alex's aunt, Mimi, also known as Mimi, and this is to my beautiful Alex. I don't know if words will ever be enough to explain how tremendously you changed my life. I am grateful every single day that you chose me. that you chose to give me a special bond that I know you did not share with everyone. I'm so grateful for the beauty you saw in this world. You had this incredible way of looking at life that was completely your own. From jumping on our trampoline and blowing out dandelions, to catching dragonflies on my porch or chasing lizards and pretending we were afraid of them, when really we loved every second. I can still see your beautiful smile when you say, "Oh my goodness," and act like you were scared. But I could see that smile. I always knew how much you loved those moments. And I will never forget the days when you would tell me in the third person that the baby was sleeping. But you weren't sleeping. You just wanted your Mimi to hold you like a baby. And I was so lucky that you still wanted that for me. I would hold you and sing our favorite lullaby, Moonlight Bay, a song passed down through our family, a song I continued to sing to your cousins Adam and Isabella, who loved you so dearly, and I promise you I will continue to sing it to them for the rest of their lives. And every time I sing it, I will think of you. I will remember kissing your beautiful bald head and seeing that little sly smile on your face, even with your eyes closed. I knew you weren't sleeping, but I know now that you are finally at peace. You are no longer hurting. And for that, I am endlessly grateful. I'm grateful to God for every extra moment He gave us with you, and I'm grateful that your suffering has finally ended. Alex, I want to say how deeply thankful I am to your beautiful parents, Kate and Troy. They fought so hard by your side. They never stopped fighting for you, loving you, protecting you, and giving you everything they possibly could. They walked every step of this heartbreaking journey with you. I will be forever grateful to them for giving you to us, for bringing you into this world and allowing all of us the incredible gift of knowing and loving you. I know that your Uncle Josh was there waiting for you, and I can picture the two of you together riding trains, laughing, exploring, and living life to the absolute fullest. Your Uncle Adam and I loved you so fiercely. You were not just a nephew or a little boy we loved. You were a piece of our hearts. I cherish every holiday, every ordinary day that your mom just showed up to my house. And every moment you came because you knew that our home was safe. And there is this memory I will carry with me forever. Your last walk. Your whole life, I felt like we were always trying to record everything, to take the pictures, capture the moments, make sure we never forgot a single thing. But that day we didn't. That day your mom and I simply watched you. We watched you walk out into the yard with Theo, and I will never forget what I saw. You were wearing your shirt, your diaper, no shoes on your feet, and you were limping because the cancer had gotten so bad in your leg. And yet you walked. You walked with Theo, the dog. He's a dog. And in that moment, I swear I saw this beautiful light around you. There was something so peaceful and beautiful about you in that moment. I didn't know that it would be the last time I would ever see you walk. But somehow I think my heart knew. You loved animals so much, and I am so grateful that Theo and Hank brought you so much happiness. I cherish that more than I can ever put into words. I remember the days that I would jump out of bed when you were in the hospital because you wanted to see that bird in my yard. Do you remember that? Yes. It was a bird feeder. But you thought it was a real bird. And Neve sure as hell was going to pretend it was real. I would bird, whatever you do. And I would do it tenfold all over again. Because those moments are never dull moments to me. They were everything. Alex, you are the bravest warrior I've ever met in my lifetime. You taught me that courage isn't about being afraid. It's about continuing to love, laugh, play, and find beauty in the world, even when it is incredibly hard. You taught me to notice the little things, you taught me to slow down, and you taught me what an extraordinary bond can look like. You gave me a love that I will carry for the rest of my life. I will miss your voice, I will miss your smile, and I surely will miss holding you. I will miss being your Nini, but I will never stop being your Nini. Every song that I sing, every dandelion I see, every dragonfly that dances nearby, every little lizard that makes me think of you, and every time I pretend a bird is visiting just because I know you would have wanted me to. And when I sing Moonlight Day to Adam and Isabella, I will think of you always. I will imagine that somewhere, somehow, you are hearing it too, and you know just how deeply we all loved you. Rest peacefully, my beautiful Alex. You fought hard and one should ever have to. You're loved more than words can say. You'll be missed more than you will ever know. I love you. You sweet boy, forever. Mimi. Okay.
All right, well, hello again. I don't have anything to match what has already been said, but I will go ahead and read some of what I was thinking. As I said earlier, I was with Alex the moment he arrived at Arnold Palmer more than 5 years ago. I had the privilege of being with him and his family a few hours before the day he died, on the day he died as well as many countless days in between. During that time, I was able to get to know the family deeply. It has been meaningful for me to also get to know Ethan Troy Jr. when they were around 15. Alex was with us for 6 years, but I know the impression he has made on our hearts will last forever. I have more memories. I do treasure the times where we were playing cars or trains in his room or in the playroom. But for some reason, the memory that has been sticking out in my head when I've been thinking about Alex in the last few days was his baptism. Alex has the distinction of being the largest baptism I have ever heard at the hospital. I still very clearly remember stepping into Alex's room back when he was in ICU. It was a very, very critical moment. But I still remember walking into the room and realizing that literally everyone and their uncle and cousin and everyone who might even possibly have something to do with critical care was already in the room.
What about training hospital?
Yes, yeah, we are a teaching hospital, so some of them were residents. But I mean, I kid you not, there were probably 20 people in that room in the middle of COVID, mind you, when we were still trying to practice distance. And they were all basically waiting on me. So no pressure there. We were about to switch Alex to a different kind of vent. And as so often happened in Alex's story, we weren't sure what would happen next, which was why I was there to do the baptism. I remember feeling all of the eyes on me, but I also remember it as a very sacred moment. I remember being able to very carefully, mindful of all the medical professionals, sprinkle some water on his forehead as we welcomed him in as a precious child of God, and also say a few words over him as well.
Michelle.
And a little shell, yes, yeah. I don't pretend that my words or the water were what helped pull him through that day, but as I've been reflecting on that, I do realize that it is that mixture of prayer and science and medicine that helped him get as far as he did. And so I've been grateful for that. I know that there have been many prayers that all of you have shared outside of this room, prayers that we have prayed in the hospital. And it is, some combination of prayers, faith, science, medicine, love, and Alex's own miraculous resilience that helps see him through. While I know all of us would have loved more time with Alex, we are still adjusting to moving forward without him. I do admit that I found comfort in knowing that he has found complete healing, that he is pain-free, especially after the last several weeks. And I'm also sure that he is enjoying more abundant life than he often got to enjoy here. I'm also just as certain that he is right now, at this very moment, surrounded by more trains, cars, construction vehicles, and animals than he knows what to do with. That he is also surrounded by loved ones, that they are taking good care of him, that he is in God's hands. And I hope and pray that that image of him surrounded by all of the things he loves, happy and loved, is comforting and encouraging for all of you as well. I can also say with certainty that Alex is missed by our hospital, that his life and legacy will live far beyond those who are gathered in this room. And I know that anyone who had the gift of meeting Alex or even hearing his story will find him impossible to forget. And it's not your time today. And it's not your time today. There'll be many destinations. Some are happy, some are sad. Each one a brief reminder of the great times we've had. Many friends I know are waiting who took an earlier train to greet me and reassure me that nothing has really changed. We'll take the time together to catch up on the past, to build a new beginning, one that will always last. One day, you'll take your journey on the train just like me. And I promise that I'll be there at the station and you will see that life is just a journey enriched by those we meet. No one can take that away from you. It's always yours.
Wow. Really?
close our service today with the thought, joy and sorrow and hope, things are just all mixed up in our hearts today. We've heard several times from many speakers just now about how much Alex has affected them, has changed our world. And yet some people still say, oh, so awful, so sad. There was a man who understood losing a child, Russian author Leo Tolstoy. His wife had 12 children. 5 of them died young. And I consider him, because of that, an expert. And he addressed this very question. People ask, why do young people die when they have lived so little? How do you know they've lived so little? This crude measure of yours is time, but life is not measured in time. This is just the same as to say, why is this saying, or this poem, this picture, this piece of music so short? Why was it broken off and drawn out, not drawn out to the size of the longest speech or piece of music, or the largest picture? As the measure of length is inapplicable to the meaning or greatness of production, the wisdom of fortune, so even more evidently it is inapplicable to life. How do you know what inner growth that its soul accomplished in a short span, and what influence it has on us? I agree completely. Alice mattered, and he mattered greatly. Knowing that, however, is still really sad. You can know how important his life was and how he lived it well and how God blessed him in so many ways, and yet we wanted him to live longer, and that's completely natural. I just want to encourage you to please keep crying. We all wanted him here longer. Please accept the feelings that'll come. They'll surprise you at strange times. And please don't worry that somehow you're going crazy or you're losing it in some way. That's all extremely natural. It's part of loving another so deeply. Benjamin Franklin, after seeing the death of a child in 1734, a while ago, addressed this, and I think his words are still true. When nature gave us tears, she gave us leave to weep. A long separation from those who are so near akin to us in flesh and blood will touch the heart in a painful place and awaken the tenderest springs of sorrow. The sluices must be allowed to be held open a little. Nature seems to demand it as a debt to love. A debt to love. There's certainly risk in love, especially as deep as this is. It's completely natural for us to feel deeply when we have love. As natural as our grief is, I'd like to close with the third piece that's swirling around in us, and that is our hope. Next to another children's hospital out west, there's this immense ancient oak tree. And it reminds me of the grief that we're all feeling in regards to Alex. We kind of wonder, we're never going to get through this. This old tree had lived quietly, peacefully on this ranch for centuries. It was that old. And the hospital was built there, and they tore up the dirt. They affected the roots, I'm sure, of this oak tree. And after all these centuries of going through winter and dropping its leaves and re-leafing out again in the spring, I kind of wonder, is it going to do it again this year? I worried that somehow the tree was too harmed. And as the springtime came, I watched this tree. And all the other trees around it had re-leafed. They were all green. This tree wasn't. And I became very worried, concerned about it. So finally, at last one day, you could kind of see this fuzzy green on the tree. And as the weeks went by more, it fully leafed out again, and it became what it was. And it recovered, even though its world had been dug up, torn up, and affected so deeply. And that's the hope I want to offer today for you as well. A recovery from this winter time, even as your lives are upturned, plowed under by this immense loss. Now, that oak tree is not exactly the same. It's grown through all these things. And we are not the same either. It's not just life as usual without Alex. And how could it be? We've grown through having Alex in our lives. It's not like you're going to just go on and forget it. How could you? You could. So I don't want you to worry about that either. What I do hope is that the memories of Alex, which right now can be very painful, will mature into sweet, warm memories of the amazing boy that we were all allowed to know, and Troy and Kim that you were allowed to. I'd like to close with a benediction in 3 parts, 3 different passages, one each about the joy and the sorrow, hope that we share. To this benediction. How can we thank God enough for you in return for all the joy we've had because of it? The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people. God himself will be with them and will be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There is no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." This joy and the sorrow and hope all mixed up in our hearts right now. It's normal, and each of them has to do its work in our heart as we come through this time. My hope and my prayer is that everyone in this room can be that for each other. You can lean on each other, help support Alex's family at this time. Let's close with a prayer. Oh, loving God, come near and know our hearts today. We feel so many things about Alex in his few days with us. As we remember Alex together, we feel again the risk that it is to care for another, to love another. Sometimes it hurts very deeply, but even with that pain, we wouldn't have missed being in Alex's orbit for anything. We know that this hurts precisely because we love him so much, and we can't help loving him, for you made him a very special young man to be thanked. Help us, heal us, guide us through our grief. Renew our hope. For Alex and his life with us, we give heartfelt thanks. Together, we all pray for Kim and Troy Jr. and Aiden and their family, friends who loved Alex in life and grieve for him in death. May they continue to be a source of comfort and support for one another. God, for all who are suffering, their families, and those of us who love them and care for them, hear our prayer.
Thank you.
All right, this time, family would like some private time with Alex one last time. So, do you mind saying your goodbyes, giving one last hug, and then giving them space? Thank you very much.